I'm not going to sit here and listen to you say that that's the way I feel. Yeah, that's not a conversation for on your camera right now.
This is a conversation. No. You asked me to come here and help you.
Whoa, did that escalate? We are back at a heightened moment where Joe Frost and the father are in conflict. And I had to leave you guys hanging because it was getting so long. So if you are back, welcome back. I'm Kristen, a parent and educator, and we use Supernanny as a jumping off point to learn parenting techniques, provide alternatives, and just continue the conversation about what works and doesn't work for your own family. So let's dive back in and see how this goes.
How do you feel this is going right now?
Oh my God. I don't feel comfortable talking to you because you don't really listen.
How do you feel when Miranda says that you become very defensive?
It's upsetting to hear that from her. I'm sorry.
I accept your apology. Right?
I'm a little frustrated that we didn't get to see all that in between. I wanted to see how Dad got from being super angry to super okay now and apologizing. Did you guys want to see it too? That couldn't have happened that fast. I wanted the information.
If Dad really wants things to change, then he's got to step up. And he's got to do things differently and follow through. Otherwise, nothing will change.
All right, I'm gonna teach you how to make this bed nice. Okay, first thing, let's take this right off. Now let's pull this all the way up.
Rule of thumb, if you're gonna expect your kids to do something, then you got to teach them as a parent how to do it properly first.
The humor there that she has. Well, you kind of have to teach them first. Our kids don't come into the world knowing how to do everything. We do have to teach them. If you want to have your child not interrupt you while you're talking to another adult, you have to teach them. Sometimes you choose not to do things because you're working on other things, and that's okay. We don't need our kids walking around as perfect little behavioral robots. But if it's something that you want them to do, take the time to teach them. So for example, with this bed situation, is saying make your bed, they might not know exactly what that looks like and what it entails, so you gotta teach your child. If it's interrupting you, you would say, okay, I'm gonna pretend to be talking to Daddy and I want you to come over and I want you to tap my hip 2 times, which tells me that you want my attention. And then you practice it with your child. You get them to wait 5 seconds without interrupting you again, and then 10 seconds, then 15 seconds, wherever they are developmentally. Obviously, if you have a small toddler, it is going to be a lot of daddy, 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 mommy, 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 and there's not a lot of impulse control. So be careful that you're not asking too much of your child. You're taking them where they are, their developmental level, and pushing them a little further. It says that William is 6 years old. William is old enough to make his bed.
All right, so I'm going to change the subject. I'm going to ask something while you both are here today. If you had time just with Dad, what kind of things would you like to do?
Play blanket man.
Yeah, blanket man. We put all the blankets in a pile in the living room, and then I use them to like hit the kids with them, and it's just a big wrestling.
All right, that sounds good.
What do you enjoy that we do together? It is information. We don't talk to our kids enough. A lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us don't talk to our kids as much. Oh, blanket man. Blanket man.
It's my first teach day with the family. I do know that they have a sleeping issue. With Ava, you know, she's the one that comes up and you're going to say, you've got your bed and we have ours. And if you get up, you will be put back in your own bed again. Okay? Because we all need to get a good night's sleep, all right?
The because matters when you explain things to your children. You're not taking away, oh, mommy and daddy are no longer letting you in our bed as a punishment. Instead, it's you have your bed and we have our bed because everyone sleeps better this way. It's not a punishment, it's a change actually that's going to benefit all of us. And it's going to be uncomfortable at first. And sharing that with your children is important so that they don't feel bad about themselves while these changes are occurring.
But tonight, I really do hope that the family are going to get good sleep.
Joe Frost with her coffee, right? It's going to be a long night, Joe Frost. You're going to be up helping this family because it doesn't appear that their problem is going to sleep. It's staying in their bed. For a lot of families, it's just the getting to sleep that is the hard part, and perhaps setting the tone isn't enough, and that's okay. But with this family, she didn't have to use any of the techniques with going back to bed and taking the child and putting them back to bed yet. I'd assume it's going to happen, though. Let's see.
It's 10:30. I'm in the garage right now. I'm just watching the surveillance cameras. I see movement in Ava's bedroom. Here we go. She's sitting up. Look, she's wondering whether she should go up or not. Here she goes. Yep, she's in her mum and dad's bedroom now.
The way that they film these new episodes are a little bit different. I feel like it's a detective. Like she's moving. She's out of her bed. She's coming up the stairs. I like it.
Come on, Dan. Here we go. And back into bed. Nice one, Dan. All right, good job.
Well, they did not put up a fight at all. That actually was quite easy. I'm surprised. We've seen lots of families where the children are going for hours, it seems like. That was fast.
It is time for lunch. I thought that us two fellow anaphylaxis people would go to lunch and you would use your voice and I would use mine and we would tell the servers what our medical condition is and we would order our food and have lunch together. Would you like to have lunch with me? Yeah?
Joe Frost is taking Ava, who we learned has severe food allergies, to a restaurant without mom there. I actually think this is brilliant, as Joe Frost normally is brilliant, because sometimes things are easier when the one parent who tends to be anxious is not around. You see this in families where, for example, if mom's not there, the kids behave better for dad, or if dad's not there, the kids behave better for mom. It's because the energies are there when you're present. If you've ever been at a play date, it's different than when you drop off your child. Sometimes teachers will, I've told some of my parents, my students' parents, your child acts like this and that, whatever, when in class, and they go, really? My child normally, blah, 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 blah. Because when you're not present, they are a little bit different. And I think it's good for our children to have lots of people in their lives, as many as you can, that are positive role models besides you. Because your energy is one energy, and it doesn't mean it's all bad. If you are someone who is more anxious, I am a more anxious parent than perhaps others, and there's a reason for it, right? I have children with food allergies as well. So understanding that and knowing, hey, let's take Ava to lunch. This is great. Let's see how Ava behaves without mom there, because when we saw Ava in the last episode, or in the last part of this episode, she was crying at the table and she was unable to or tell the waitress that she had food allergies.
Hi. It's nice to see you again. So I do remember last time we had some allergies. Do you want to just remind me of them again?
Peanuts, tree nuts, eggs, and milk.
Peanuts, tree nuts, eggs, and milk for you? Okay.
Do you know what you want? Okay, well, you can let Annie know then.
Taco twins without any cheese and then meat hamburger.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you. See, that's exactly what you do every time.
That makes me so happy. Oh gosh, I'm such a mother. That makes me so happy. You see her smile. As soon as a child is able to do things on their own, they build their confidence and they just continue to grow and flourish, because one day our little babies that we love so much are going to be in the world by themselves, and they're not going to have mommy and daddy to talk to the waitress for them. Notice how the waitress already knew and helped a little bit. Like, I remember the last time you were here and there were some food allergies. What were they exactly? So in the last episode with you guys, when I was talking to you, I was saying how things are done in steps. Allow your child to move in steps. So she's not going to just walk into a brand new restaurant and say it right off the bat. So they kind of told the adult, hey, she's going to be a little bit nervous about this. Start the conversation for her and smile and make it easier. You can prep situations where your child is typically afraid. Let's say that your child had a negative experience on the playground. Something happened with another child and they pushed your child. You might create a bit of a simulation experience the next time you go to the playground, where you meet up with somebody you know and you talk to them ahead of time and you say, hey, my son is a little bit nervous about going down the slide. So can you have your child go down the slide and talk about out loud how fun it is? And then, you know, you kind of just like giving your kid a boost. I have a funny little story that I just thought about. When I was a kid learning how to ride my bike, I was nervous. And so I looked at my dad and I said, don't let go. Make sure that when you're running behind me, you hold on to the bicycle seat. And I was riding my bicycle and I thought that my dad was holding the back because he was running behind me. Come to find out that when you watch the home footage, I wish I could insert it here. I don't even know how to access those. But when I watched the home footage, however much later, it turned out that my dad was just running behind me. He wasn't actually holding the bicycle seat the way that I thought he was. Sometimes we have to give our kids that little boost of pushing them a little bit further than what they're comfortable with. Oh, I love when little memories pop up, you know? Little happy memories.
Today is my final teach day, and I want to work with the parents on behaviour and discipline. What's she saying? We want to encourage her to use her conversational voice by saying, I'd like to get you what you're asking for, but I can't understand you. You need to use your voice so that I can hear you.
I can't understand you, Kayla. Can you talk to me with your big girl voice?
I was just gonna say that when she said use your big girl voice. I'm not a fan of that. I say use your voice clearly. I can't understand you. If you want me to help you, I can help you. I'd love to help you, but I can't hear you. And not giving in to the behavior, because like Joe Frost said, if you give in to the behavior repeats. So this whiny voice and the grabbing onto her from behind and following her around will continue if it works. If you engage with a behavior and it gets attention, even if it's negative attention, it will be repeated because children want your attention. So providing an alternative of getting attention, but in a positive way, is the solution. It's not jumping straight to the consequence. It's trying, okay, I hear you want something, but I can't understand you. If you want me to help you, you need to use a clear voice. And saying that in a tone that is not necessarily angry, but it's not necessarily friendly, it's firm.
Ignore the behaviour. If she wants something, she can talk to you.
When you can tell me clearly, I can help you.
Normally Miranda would give in to such behaviour, but it's really good that she's staying strong. And I'm glad that Dan is there, that he's present to see the whole thing, because he's going to need to do the same as well.
By letting the tantrum run its course and her get to and the tantrum could last a long time or it could be a short time. It's going to be longer if you used to give into it, and it will be shorter if it's new. Kayla will slowly realize that when mom says, I can't understand you, can you use a clear voice? Or not can you, use a clear voice so I can hear you. I'm right here.
It's important of just...
Yes, thank you for asking me clearly. I could understand you, but I am very happy right now. The little victories are a huge deal, and it feels good to be listened to.
we're going to end this episode here because my phone battery's dying and I have to pick up my own kids from school. If you enjoy this kind of content, please hit the like and the subscribe, and I will see you next week. Bye.